Hey guys, it is day 3 of our 5-day water fast, and we are still alive and kicking. No, we went to the fair.
That's what people think.
That's what
you're
people
gonna
think.
die.
Yeah,
It's just food.
we went to the fair tonight downtown, and it really, I mean, everybody said, "Oh, isn't that going to be just torture being around all that yummy food?" And it really wasn't that bad. I felt really good. This morning I was struggling a little bit, and all of a sudden something kicked in, and I feel completely normal. Lots of energy. What about you, Lee?
I actually had quite a bit of hunger today for some reason.
Was today your hardest day? What did you say?
Yeah, that it tends to be. Like I said, everybody's different. I think you move into ketosis a lot. Mm-hmm. Like Erin will take a deep dive into ketosis, like her body really reacts, and mine is a little slower to do that. But I was hungry today for sure. I thought about food quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't too bad.
But it's there's purpose behind it, so that's what I keep thinking. When I was down there and actually fair food doesn't smell that good, but I know what the steak tips taste like. So I've been talking about the steak tips a lot.
I know.
But I guess I have been hungry today, but that should go away tomorrow. Usually my day 4 and 5 are really good. And
yeah,
by the time I hit 5, I'm like, I don't even have the craving for food, and that's day 4 is where a lot of the magic happens. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So I'm going to flip it around to Dr. Nagel, and he's going to explain a little bit about what to expect for day 3 on a water fast. And how do I flip it? Okay. There you go.
Okay. So I didn't realize that words will get flipped around when you're doing the selfie type camera thing. So hopefully, can you read that?
Yes.
Okay. So I know the conversions were kind of funny, so I'm going to go over that again because it was a bit of a mess last night trying to get both of us to do our blood work, and it takes too long, and I'm super time sensitive. So we went ahead and did it before, and so here's the conversion. So when we talk about 1-to-1, that does not mean that you're in ketosis. So when you're in ketosis, if you get your blood sugar down into the low 90s or upper 80s, and your ketones are even at 0.5, which for us happens really fast, you're in ketosis. If you can keep it down in the 80s and then jump up into, over 1, you're really in good ketosis. But when you are, we talk about stem cells and autophagy, so gobbling up the bad cells, and the impact that it's had on cancer when you look at Thomas Seyfried's work. His goal is to get people to this 1-to-1 ratio. And so it's not, Erin's glucose was at 64 and mine was at 77. And so you have to convert that to millimoles per deciliter, that's not what we use here. I think that's a European standard. But anyway, to do that, all you have to do is divide by 18. And so to get that, so Erin was 3.55 and I'm 4.27. So when you look at my ketones, they're 2.9, so I'm getting there, right? It's not, I don't have to do too much more for that ratio to get there, and Erin is almost there. She's basically there. Mm-hmm. So, when you think about why would you do that? Well, when we know that your body starts destroying cancer when you get to this state, that's pretty motivating, mm-hmm. especially in this world where everybody knows somebody who's suffered terribly from cancer. So the thing is, though, Erin she fasts every week, has done multiple block fasts, and so have I. And so, our bodies are responding pretty quick. So, with the rest of this...
I've also been detoxing. That
Yeah, and detox, which I'm going to talk mm-hmm. about. So Erin and I both detox. We both test high in mercury and lead. So, that's an ongoing process. So, the question is, why won't your sugar drop? So if you're just starting this sort of stuff, there's a few reasons. One can be toxins. So we've been detoxing for a long time. Removing the toxins, we talked about before, you have gut issues and toxin issues and then there's genetic issues too. Those are the 3 things that go into causing chronic disease. And so most people that have autoimmune thyroid or autoimmunity period or cancer, you know, it could be spectrum disorders or dementia or Alzheimer's, have, you know, gut problems, the genes are turned on, and they have toxin issues. So this can be one of the reasons why the sugar won't drop. And this is what we do at Midwest Functional Health. So that's actually one of the things that sets us aside from, and I'm not plugging our program, just letting you know that that's something that we do. We actually get, it can be biotoxins or heavy metals. The other thing is genes. So we find, and those are epigenetics. So it doesn't mean when you have genes, it doesn't mean you're hardwired to be a certain way and that's it. So these genes, you can have genes that you have a tendency to move into, when you don't have food, you have a tendency to move into gluconeogenesis. So the body will start breaking down muscle to raise up your sugar. And so what's the solution there? Multiple fasts. So with really thin people that are toxic, they tend to move into gluconeogenesis really quick. So the trick is, it doesn't mean just keep fasting and fasting and fasting. Let's do multiple fasts. Do a fast, you know, once a month. And there are different types of fasts. And that's what, when you get a coach, that's, you know, there's an appropriate type of fast for each person with where they're at in their health. The other one is cortisol. So cortisol is a stress hormone, and stress hormones raise gluconeogenesis. So, you know, you can have cortisol levels increase from physical stress, mental stress, and emotional stress, and chemical stress, actually. So, you know, we take care of the toxins, but there's emotional components. So if you're the sort of person that is harboring emotion, whether it's child or, you know, it could be like a death in the family and things like that, chronic stress, like just dealing with that emotional stuff, that can raise your blood sugar too. So keep all of that in mind when you're, you know, it doesn't mean that you're flawed. It just means you need to keep working at it, and you can achieve health. I mean, I talk about this all the time. Our God-given genetics are healthy. We've just really screwed it up as Americans with our food, with our, you know, allowing toxins in our environment. I mean, it's a mess. So, you know, my other point to that is that when you do clean things up and you do feel good and you're clear-headed and you have high energy, it's amazing what you can take on and still feel good and productive and be able to sleep. And, you know, I mean, it's your tolerance for life just becomes so much bigger when you clean this stuff up.
Mm-hmm,
so that's your health nibble for the day.
Okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Round of applause from Kai. All right, see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Kai.